Dun dun dun. In this video, Inspired Human and Inspiring Alien come together to give to you a new and exclusive video. So stay tuned. Hey guys, it's me, Desiree, with Inspired Human Design, and in this video, I invited my friend Alvia from Inspiring Alien to share his perspective on being a projector 6'2", but also talk about some other topics that he shares on his YouTube channel, such as the tarot and astrology, and also some personal experience regarding his life as well. And be sure to go into the description where you'll find the links to his YouTube channel where you can find some great information about tarot and understanding Western astrology, because that's what we use in human design. You'll also find the opportunity to get some free tarot spreads. So if you're interested in unique artwork pieces, you're definitely going to want to check out his shop. So without further ado, welcome Alvia, and thank you so much for being here and just sharing your perspective.
And thank you for having me.
Let's talk about human design. What brought you to actually stumbling upon human design and finding out that you were a projector? Was it kind of like an aha moment? Was it something that was special, or was it just kind of like, hey, this is cool?
Yeah, it was like very much of a aha moment for me, and I felt that it really just explained a lot, especially the whole projectors needing to be invited type of thing. Because, like, for example, this is a very practical life example. I used to be unemployed for quite a long time, and I would send in a bunch of applications, so many applications, and almost none of them hit the mark.
Yeah.
So, like, I almost never had any interviews. It was quite rare. So that's like one very practical example. And the same with like just interacting with people. It's
Sure.
like you just kind of have to be invited to things in order to really find that click and be appreciated in that way. It's just something that I felt like I had so much experience with. And then of course, like we talked before, just jumping into this video about being non-sacral and having a bit of an inconsistent energy level. So
Sure.
So that's one thing that I also kind of vibed with. And then of course, as I got like even more into it, there was even more that kind of gave me those aha moments and kind of confirmations about some stuff and those type of things.
So you, like, what I noticed, like, you do wonderful art. So I highly recommend people to check out, your channel and the things that you do. And I do find you being so unique and actually an inspiration to, not so much follow the rules of like the rest of the homogenized world, because it's like, doing your own thing. And I'm like, that's like completely like empowering for like me to see. I'm like, oh, that's so great. That's so wonderful. The whole like work, like you said, finding like that consistent work and that being like sacral. Have you found that to be like a hindrance for you? Or does you feel like it's been more like empowering you to actually like step in and say, I'm going to do this my way. I'm going to do my art. I'm going to do my thing. And then, allow the universe to kind of bring you the resources that you need through that?
I'd say both, because in a way it is hindering, because we do live in a society that is very capitalistic in a way that everything costs something, and it is hard to find free apartments. Right. So in that way it is kind of hindrance, because like you do kind of know that you have to, like, unless you're like me, I'm living at my parents right now, building my business and stuff like that. So unless you do something like that, or you have relatives who can kind of support you financially, or you have like a system in place, like of course there's like social securities and stuff like that. But like when I really think about that, you do need some kind of financial resources to live on your own, or live with a partner or whatever.
Yeah.
So in that way, yes, there is that kind of hindrance, because it's almost like you're forced to do something in order to be considered like an independent functioning adult.
Right.
And there's a lot of like, conditioning there that I don't agree with, of course.
Right.
So in that way, yes, but then also, yes, it has also just shown me that, there's different things that work with different people, and not everyone is going to do the same thing. And of course, like when I notice something that doesn't work for me, and when I notice, like, yeah, again, like the general idea, and when it doesn't work for me, then I'm just like, okay, well, what do I do then? And I try out something different, and I come up with something cool. So
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So your channel and the things that you do, which I feel like my audience would be interested in, which is the whole like inspiring alien thing. Because like you're inspiring alien, I'm inspired.
yes.
So it's like whenever you found me, I was like, oh wow, this is so, so great. Because I definitely feel like for me, like I'm not part of this world at all. And I'm still on this journey of trying to find like, I don't even know like who am I, what am I, that type of thing. How did you come across, or how did you come up with, like, where did inspiring alien come from? Could you tell us a little bit about that backstory?
That was okay. That's a long story. I mean, I don't know. It's not a long story, but it was a long time ago.
Okay.
It was like, yeah, I'm basically a trained artist. I went to art school, and
Wow.
that is where this thing came from. I don't know, like it was something just clicked in my head, because I liked aliens. I loved aliens. And that's a whole thing, I don't know, that just got stronger while I was in art school. And then, I don't know, inspiring alien. it just came from somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then I kind of, I just adopted it as my name. So yeah.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. Because like what I see in the spiritual community is, a lot of people talking about the Starseeds. How do you feel about reincarnating here from like being like a different species or something like that?
Yes.
You want to talk about that maybe a little bit?
Yeah, I've definitely done research on that, and also on how it overlaps with astrology. And yeah, I do definitely believe in reincarnation from all across the universe, basically. So
Right.
so yeah, that's definitely something that I'm interested in and still continuously studying. And then there's even like different species of starseed beings, like extraterrestrial beings, that I communicate with psychically, because I don't know like what all of the skills that I have are, but like clairaudience, clairvoyance, and usually, the communication is kind of telepathic almost in a way.
When you do like say like, channel like other beings and stuff, are you doing it for like personal purposes? Do you have like videos? Do you get messages that you feel like you want to share like with others, or is it more of just like a something that maybe you don't control, so to speak, like the timing of it? Like, does that make sense?
Well, these days it doesn't really isn't really something that I plan for. It's something that kind of, it comes kind of spontaneously. Sometimes it can be in the middle of the night. A freaking star being or a deity just wants to have a little chat, and I'm just like, okay, then. It's the middle of the night. I'm a little bit sleepy, but like, okay.
Right.
And like sometimes it is like I just, ask them to come the next day or something.
Yeah, sure.
But usually it is kind of spontaneous, and then like depending on kind of what comes up, I might share it with my audience or my followers. And yeah, it kind of just depends. But at this point, I don't really do those type of, like, for example, channeling. I don't really do those things to.
Yeah. So moving forward, 2027, there's like this new mutation of human species coming. And I didn't really talk about this yet on my channel, but the thing with what Ross says about projectors is that, they will become the guides that, or be more recognized as the guides in society. So it'll be like, you know, oh, this is a projector. I need this projector to kind of help me to, you know, tap into myself and that type of thing. And what I seen was you being like this role model. Now you hold the 6'2", right?
Yeah,
So
that's also.
yeah. I also am like, oh, this is like the 6'2". I'm seeing this of you actually like stepping in and being that role model for a very specific group of people, community that actually needs more role models for this, you know, embracing our individuality, embracing of who we are, even if it is different than what we're seeing in the world. From my perspective, I feel like it is helpful, but like, do you feel as if, you know, sharing your personal story regarding being trans and this, you know, your process through it, do you feel that it's helping others?
Yeah, I do, because there is that, you know, sometimes it just takes one person to be, you know, really brave and to be who they are and to be real, for everyone else to then, you know, kind of see where they aren't or where they need to be more real and more of themselves.
Yeah.
So I do see it as, you know, an encouraging act.
Sure. So with the 6'2", do you feel with holding that 2 line of that struggle of being the hermit and then like also then like wanting to be out there, like do you ever feel that like push and pull between wanting to stay inside or then wanting to be like inward outward type of thing?
Yeah, I do feel that. It's
Okay.
like I like my alone time, but then I also, like, eventually after a while I start to miss my audience. I just miss talking to the cutesies and I just need to go back.
Yeah. I don't know if I asked you this, but how long have you been like into human design? Like, do you actively study it, or do you just kind of take what you like can through like human design and then use like other means of understanding yourself? Like, how involved are you with human design?
I kind of do both, but the way I study things anyway is kind of, again, inconsistent.
Yeah.
It's like I kind of go through times when I don't study that actively. It's more like about just listening to videos or watching videos and maybe just, you know, letting them play in the background while I do other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, at times I do go into more active study. I might read books. I might watch videos and take notes.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've studied more kind of in depth, I would say, about a year and a half. I just remember it coming up so many times from so many different people and so
Right.
many different like sources. So just like popping up, and then I was just like, okay, I have to look at this. I saw my chart and I was kind of like, okay, I don't really understand much about this.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is a thing, okay.
Right.
Uh, and then I kind of like shelved it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started working with a business coach. And what she shared with me was about this human design, and then I started to study it more again. So yeah, that's kind of what got me more into it. And then, like, as I had gotten a little bit more deeper into it, and I dedicated a whole notebook to it, that's when I kind of officially became a fan.
Yeah. Do you feel as if there are some astrological influences that are influencing this changing nature of the world? Like, what do you see possibly, you know, happen like in the change of like society and that type of thing? Do you feel like this is coming about?
Yeah, I do. I mean, the astrological influences are always, of course, impacting us. That's how I see it. And I do see, of course, I see this as this one that was the solstice conjunction.
Mm-hmm.
That is a big one, but then there's also other big ones. So it's not like it's just gonna end. There's no big movements anymore. But yeah, I think this is a big one especially because, it's going to be squaring Uranus at some point. For those who don't know, Saturn and Jupiter made a conjunction in Aquarius on the solstice 2020. And they had been kind of playing around Pluto in Capricorn whole year long. And personally, I felt those transits when those days when they were closer. I think the last one was, I don't remember the dates correctly, but it wasn't too long ago. And then there was, it was after they went direct, so it would have been around, I guess, November. And then there was one around July before they went retrograde.
Right.
And then there was one around January, early January. So that's kind of the times we are looking at. So, and a lot of this has occurred. There's been like COVID, and there's been like protest, and then there's been like election in the United States. I mean, you're in the United States, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you have a Pluto return also.
Right.
Your country has a Pluto return.
Yeah.
It's like, that's like another very intense and big like kind of energy thing, because that only happens every 200 something years. So humans don't even have Pluto return.
Right.
but yeah, what I kind of think about that is that this year has definitely shaped how this human collective works.
Yeah.
And I feel that, the alignment of Aquarius with like Jupiter and Saturn is just going to launch a new world. I do feel that, because Jupiter is very expansive and Saturn is building, and Saturn kind of shows and lays the constructs in which Jupiter can expand. But Jupiter is also going to do a very like quick movement, and Jupiter is going to visit Pisces very briefly this year, this coming year, within the first half a year. And I know this because my birthday, my solar return, Jupiter will be in Pisces. So it's like I like to pull solar return charts as well, so that I can kind of explore my sort of year ahead themes. And it has been like so dead accurate that I'm just like, it's just like, what the heck, this is some witchcraft. But yeah, basically I found that to be very fascinating, that Jupiter is so quick to move to Aquarius.
Yeah.
And then Jupiter goes back to Aquarius when retrograde. So so that was one of those very interesting themes. So I would just see this as like very quick expansion and very quick movement through those themes. And this could have something to do with, for example, like how we solve everything that was broken down by COVID, basically.
Right.
Because it was one of those big, very worldwide events that shaped us this year.
Right.
So I feel like that's one of those things that might be fixed very quickly. But again, of course, it's going to be quick. And at that point, just I feel like Saturn is going to help with building it in a way that it doesn't completely explode.
Yeah.
But
because Saturn rules Aquarius. Thank you for sharing that like insights of what you see in the stars. Is there anything you would like to share regarding, I don't know, something maybe I didn't talk about regarding being a projector?
We are kind of specialists in a way. I feel like that's one of those key words for projectors, because we have those guiding skills And we always want to be helpful. We're always there to like lend a helping hand.
Yeah.
And we need to appreciate and recognize ourselves first. That's one of the things, you know, it has to come from within, because then we're going to radiate an aura that's going to reflect that back to us.
Sure. Great message. Thank you for doing this. And I do
Thank
really
you for having me.
Yes.
It was so much fun.
And for you, the viewer, be sure to go over to Inspiring Alien, where you'll find a wonderful video where he asks me my perspective of being a reflector. So if you're interested in understanding the day-to-day life of a reflector, or what it's like to be different every single day, and the transits and that type of stuff, it's a wonderful video. Highly check it out. Be sure to go over there and sign up for Alvia's newsletter, where you'll get the free tarot spreads, and check out the shop for some unique and inspiring artwork. And that's it. That's all I have for you guys. So until next time, bye.